On today's video, I'm doing a review for Ariana Grande's new album, Thank You Next. Are y'all ready? It's lit.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B kid, and backing out with the video. But this is your first time on my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because on this channel I talk all things music and entertainment while keeping it real, but always trying to find the bright side of everything. Alright, now after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell next to it so you can get the post notifications every time I post a new video. You're gonna see it. Alright, y'all, like I said, we're going to be talking about Ariana Grande's new album, Thank You Next. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge fan of Ariana Grande. I've been rocking with her ever since The Way. I love the way it makes me feel. I love it. I've been rocking with her ever since The Way. I've been watching her career grow, and I'm really a big fan of her. And she's back with her 5th album, guys, called Thank You Next. She released it today, February 8th, 2018. On Republic Records. She has no features on this album, so that's a very cool thing to see. No features. And in terms of, you know, producers and songwriters, she has a lot of people she's worked with before that she trusts. We have Max Martin and Ilya, 2 legendary pop producers. We have Tommy Brown, who's one of my favorite producers also, and he's worked with her a lot on a lot of her older albums. And in terms of new collaborators, I think the only new person she's working with, for the most part, I think is Pop, of Pop and Oak. He's also one of my favorite producers as well. So they all contributed in terms of production, and also for songwriters. She pretty much had 2 of her closest friends, Victoria Monet, who's a really dope R&B artist that I love, and Taylor Parks, who's a really dope like R&B and pop songwriter. She had them working all the songs for this album too. So a lot of people that she trusts and that she's really good friends with, that she fucks with, helped make this album. So you know, that's pretty much how she did it. And you know, for people who are saying that this new album is like her ditching Sweetener and the whole Sweetener era, I don't really think I'd say this album is like her ditching Sweetener as an era and as an album. I would say I feel like this album is more about her having had like a sudden burst of like creativity, and her kind of moving into like a new zone, and it's like a new place in her life where I feel like she and her friends just started writing like all these songs that were just like coming out about, you know, just where she's at in her life right now. And I feel like she decided, you know, let me just start making an album that's more reflective of where I am in my life right now, compared to Sweetener, which was made, you know, probably like back in like 2017 and 2018. So, and also she was saying, and I kind of agree with her, she was saying like, you know, rappers and just dudes in general in the music industry are allowed to release albums like every few months back to back, and no one really cares and no one blinks an eye. So why? But you know, for females it's kind of true. For women in the industry, they aren't really allowed to kind of do the same thing. Like, women generally are not expected to be releasing albums, and if they do, like Ariana Grande, there's pushback. Whereas your favorite rapper can release 2 albums a year and you're not gonna have a problem with it. So I have no problem. I think I'm actually glad she's kind of changing the pop mold of what, you know, pop stars are expected to do. And I'm kind of glad that she's saying, you know what, no, if I want to get into a whole new vibe and into a whole new, you know, sonic zone or whatever, like, if I'm having all these new experiences, why can't I make a new album and make a new project out of that? I have no problem with it. So I'm kind of glad she's giving this new album. The only thing is, as someone who really likes Sweetener, as someone who really liked the album, I still feel like, you know, I really want her to push the album more, because I feel like there's still plenty of hits waiting on that album. You know, Borderline with Missy Elliott, Successful, Every Time. Like, there are still songs that are waiting to be hits off of the album. But you know, it's cool. Sweetener still gave us, you know, three of the biggest songs of her career: No Tears Left to Cry, Goddess Woman, and Breathing. You know, 3 of my favorite like pop songs of 2018, also just of her career in general. So you know, Sweetener gave us more than enough. But R.I.P. Sweetener, and now we're on to Thank You Next. So yeah, man, let's get into review, and let me give you all my thoughts on this album. You ready for it? Let's go. Alright, y'all, so the album starts off with the track Imagine. When this song came out in December, that's like a promo track for the album, I have to admit I really wasn't feeling it at first, but it has grown on me. When I first heard it, I just thought it was kind of boring and underwhelming, but it has grown on me. I love the way she says imagine a world. Imagine a world. I love the way she does that. I think it's dope. And I also love that. I love that all the high notes she was hitting at the end, you know, on her Mariah shit, OD. She was really hitting. She hit like 4 high notes at the end that are really popping. Every time I hear it, I just really like them. So I feel like this is one of those songs that I had to just kind of grow on you. I didn't really feel it at first, but I really like it now. It's just her talking about, you know, being with this dude and they doing all types of like, you know, sexy romantic shit with no type of worries on their mind, and just doing all types of shit. And imagine a world like that where we could just do whatever and there's no type of issue, and I can get off a tour and, you know, fuck with you, all types of stuff like that. So it was a really cool track to start the album. I like the vibe. It was a good way to start the album. Can't complain. Alright, next track is Needy. Obviously, as you can tell from the title, this is the track where she's talking about just how needy she is as a woman and how she really needs the person she's with to understand that she's needy and to just get with the program because it's who she is. And she's sorry for the fact that she's needy, but it is what it is. And I think this is a cool track that a lot of women will be able to relate to, so I think it's a great song for the album. I really did appreciate the concept and the honesty on this track, but I also did like the melody too. Needy. But I also kind of just wish there was like more behind the production. Shout out Tommy Brown, but I just feel like the production was kind of like underwhelming. I wish there was like an extra element behind the production that could have made it like more spicy, but you know, it's a cool little mellow, like, you know, grooved out, smoothed out track that's just talking about just being needy, so it's cool for what it is. Alright, next up, y'all, we have NASA. So this to me was like one of the instant like highlights and standouts for me. I really think this is a really cool song. It has like a real ass concept and really relatable lyrics. If you're a sane person, if you're a normal person, you can relate to this song and it talking about, you know, really loving someone and appreciating them, but you are always giving your all to them. So once in a while you need your damn space. You need time to do you and just to chill out and just, you know, be in your own zone, be in your own vibe. We all can relate to that, and I know guys and girls, we all can relate to that. If you're a regular person, you're gonna need your space from your loved ones, from your friends, whatever. Like the person you're dating, you're gonna need your space. It's part of life. So I really think I really like the way they set up this track in terms of like the lyrics and the concept. It's really relatable. It's a fun track, and I really think like it had a really cool like melody and hook that's really like, it really sticks out. So I really feel like it'll be a cool single choice. I don't think they'll do that, but I really do think NASA will be a cool single choice. My only gripe with the song is I wish it was a little bit longer. I feel like she had like another like bridge or like another verse in there, just kind of like, you know, make it a little bit longer. I feel like it was getting into his bag and then it just stopped. But, you know, other than that, it's a really cool track and definitely one of the highlights for me. So I really like NASA. Alright, y'all, and then next up we got Bloodline. So Bloodline is going to be the track that's gonna get all the ladies hyped and thinking they don't need no man in their life. I'm telling you, it's gonna be the track that's gonna have all these girls there like, bro, I don't need you in my life. I don't need you in my bloodline. Get out. So it's gonna be funny as fuck to see that. But to me, guys, like Bloodline, even though I'm a dude, like I'll give it to Ariana Grande. Bloodline is a whole bop. Like it's a whole jam. To me, it was probably one of the most like instantaneous bops I heard off the album. As soon as I heard that, I was like, whoa, like okay, no, I'm in this track. I'm feeling it. It has a really obvious like reggae and like somewhat like dancehall influence on the song, but that didn't bother me. It didn't really feel like contrived and it didn't feel forced. It felt really natural and the groove was nice. So it's just a really nice like easygoing pop groovy song with like a nice like reggae influence in there. And in my opinion, I feel like this is one of the songs that needs to be a single off of this album. I think after a breakup with your girlfriend on board, I feel like this needs to come out as the next single off the album. You know, and I feel like it needs to be like a summer anthem for this album. It just feels like summer, you know, the horns, the reggae vibe. You know, it's like a kiss-off anthem for ladies talking about, listen, dude, I don't need you in my bloodline. I don't need you in my lineage. I fuck with you, but I don't need to commit to you. It doesn't need to be that deep. I don't need you in my bloodline. It's just a really dope, creative song that I think ladies are gonna love. And guys are not gonna appreciate it, but like it's a bop. Like it really bangs. So to me, Bloodline was one of my favorite songs off the album and definitely an instant highlight. But let me know what y'all think below. But to me, Bloodline was a standout. Love this track. Alright, y'all, next up we got Fake Smile. To me, Fake Smile was a cool track. This is a track where she's pretty much talking about how as an entertainer and as a musician she often has had to put on a fake smile throughout her career, because that's the norm in Hollywood and that's the norm in the entertainment industry, is to always be on and present and put on a fake smile even when you're not all the way there and you're going through shit. And we all can relate to that, whether you're Ariana Grande or the bum, you know, working at the McDonald's down the street. We all go throughout our lives oftentimes feeling like we have to put on a fake smile because we don't want to let anybody know what we're going through, or we don't want to let nobody in, or just, you know, and within our own selves, we don't really want to deal with our own trauma and our own bullshit, or we don't really want to address it because it's too much work. We've all been there. We all continue to do it. It's a part of life that it really is a dark part of life, but we all have been there. And you know, even though she's a singer, she has a great life. Like, this is really champagne problems at the end of the day. Hashtag champagne problems. But I still love the way she wrote this track and the way she, you know, made it all come together, because this is real shit. And I love that she really brought this topic of putting on that fake smile. And even when you're Ariana Grande, she still goes through shit, and she's saying, I love that she was pretty much saying, fuck a fake smile. And I love that, you know, that relates to all of us. Fuck a fake smile. Like, stop doing that shit. Let's all be real with each other. Let's all talk about what we're going through, and let's all stop putting on this mask to, like, you know, act like we're okay when we're not. And that's something that we can all learn from, that we all need to practice more often. So I love that, you know, she really encouraged herself and all of her fans to fuck a fake smile. So that it's a really dope track. And as a fan, I really am just like, you know, I really am happy to see her singing about real shit going on in her real life in her own way. And I just love seeing her push herself to really, like, be this real about what's going on in her life. So I liked it. And I really liked what it was saying. You know, I really also like the vibe of this track. I really feel like, I love how, like, dark and, like, ominous it sounded on the verses, but then, like, you know, it, like, picked back up and was, like, bright again on the hook. So I really thought it was just a really dope song sonically. It really came together well, and to me, it was definitely one of the highlights off the album. So let me know what you think about Fake Smile. I thought the message was dope. I thought it sounded great, and it was just a good song. You know, the way it all came together, I thought it was dope. Loved it. Alright, y'all, so next up we have Bad Idea. So Bad Idea was pretty much a song where she's talking about how, you know, she and the dude she's with, you know, she has a few bad ideas of things they can get into to escape all the, you know, everything in life. Their exes, their worries, their current, you know, their current bullshit, whatever they're going through. I have a bad idea, you know, for us to get away from all that and escape life. So it was a really interesting track. Bad Idea really gave me like a low-key, like, 80s pop rock vibe with the guitar riff. You know, that was immersed in the song. I really liked the guitar riff. And also with, like, the melody and the arrangement of the hook, it really gave me that 80s pop rock vibe as well. But you also had this, like, this current trap vibe that was mixed in at the end. So it was a really cool mixture. It didn't really sound weird. It really came together well. I never thought, like, an 80s pop influenced song would have mixed well with, like, a song that had, like, trap elements in it. But it really does sound good. The only issue with the song is that it does sound like a little bit kind of corny and a little bit like cookie cutter, just a little bit. But then again, she always has songs on every album that really just sound like kind of basic and cookie cutter, so it is what it is. So I guess that song fits the mold on this album. But yeah, it's a cool little track. And even though it's a little bit cookie cutter, it still rides. Like, you know, the production is still groovy, it still rides out. It's a cool little track. And I really feel like it just functions as a track to kind of bring you into the next part of the album. So alright, y'all, next up we got Makeup. Makeup is just a cool little track where she's talking about, listen, man, me and you, we should make up and get back together, be cool again. And she also compares making up with her boyfriend to actual makeup too. So this track, I don't have too many complaints about this track other than the fact that I feel like it could have been a little bit longer. It should have been a little bit longer, especially if it would be a single. I don't think it would be, but if it would be a single, I think it should have been a little bit longer. But it's cool. I think what I like the most about this track, other than, like, the reggae vibe in the production that really makes it bounce, it really just makes it bright. Other than that, I really like the arrangement of the vocals on the song. I don't know if that was Victoria Monet or Taylor Parks or both of them on the background vocals, but whoever's on the background, they killed it. And all the harmonies that they were having throughout the song was just dope. It was really arranged well vocally, so that's what really made it stand out for me. Yeah, but it's just another bop for the album, another fill-in bop for the album. And I also liked the what was it? I liked how she referenced Fenty Beauty at some point in the song, so that was cool to see. Shout out Rihanna, Queen. I don't know anything about makeup, but I know I heard that Rihanna pretty much had, like, the highest grossing makeup line of, like, 2018. And mind you, that's the first time she ever entered the business of makeup. So that's just like Rihanna, you're a queen. Like, that's just cool to see. We waiting on the album, Rihanna. Where's the album? Waiting on the album. But yeah, it was just cool to see her give a shout out to Rihanna for Fenty Beauty. Shout out to a black queen just killing makeup and killing a whole business venture on her first time out doing that type of business. Like, that's just crazy. Shout out Rihanna. But yeah, man, Makeup is a cool look, you know, it's just a cool bop. Ain't nothing more, nothing less. This is a cool little track. My favorite part of it is the vocals, so shout out to Makeup. Alright, y'all, so next up we have Ghostin'. Ghostin' is a really cool song. When I first heard it, I really didn't like it, actually. Like, when I first, I was like, I wasn't really feeling it. But then when I heard it again, I was like, oh no, like, this track is really beautiful. It's probably the most beautiful track on the album. It's a gorgeous track in terms of the way it was written and produced, and also the way she sung it too. You know, production-wise, I think Max Martin produced it, but you know, it just has all these like beautiful, like swooning, like orchestral sounds. It just sounds like a beautiful ass movie. Like, it sounds like a big beautiful movie. And in terms of the way it was written, beautiful deep lyrics. The song pretty much is talking about her being with a new person, but she can't stop crying and thinking about the man that's no longer here in her life. I'm gonna presume Mac Miller, and the new person that she's with was Pete. So I really feel like this is a really dope like dedication to not only to Mac Miller and to his life, but also kind of to the trauma and the baggage that she kind of received when he passed away, and how she had to deal with all that while she was in a relationship with a new person. So I've never been through that, but for anybody who's been through that, where you've been in a relationship with a new person comfortably, and all of a sudden someone that you were dating or someone that you really like loved or whatever like passed away while you were like fully invested in someone else. I don't know what that feels like, but I know that's probably like a really complicated and like just weird and like sad feeling. So I really feel like this track just like detailed that whole thing, and I really feel like she wrote it in a really dope way. Yeah, so I just feel like it's a really dope dedication to Mac and his life, and to what the relationship meant, and to how things affected her once he passed away. I feel like if we ever need a track to reference how she felt, Ghostin' is that track. So you know, shout out to everyone involved with this track, the way they wrote it, the way they produced it. It's a beautiful track, and the way she sung it. She didn't do too much on the song. It really was like a light vocal, but it was effective. So it's just a really dope song, man. Dope song all the way around. I'm kind of glad. It's probably like the only real like ballad on the album, so I'm kind of glad she gave this album some ballad flavor with Ghostin', because everything is mostly like mid-tempos. So I'm glad she kind of did slow down for a minute with Ghostin'. The album needed it. But yeah, man, really great track. It's not the song that I'm like running to hear off of the album, but it definitely is probably the most beautiful track off the album, and probably one of the most well thought out songs on the album for sure. Alright, next up after Ghostin', funny enough, is a track called In My Head, which I would say is pretty much just like a low-key, shady dedication to her ex, Pete Davidson. This track is pretty much talking about how she thought she was in love with somebody and how she thought it was real, but then she realized it was all in her head, and it wasn't real, and it wasn't that deep, and it wasn't that serious as she thought it was. So, you know, a lot of people can relate to that track, guys and girls. A lot of us have been there. So I'm not gonna say this track, it isn't filler, and it's definitely not my favorite track off the album, but you know, it's cool and it works for the album. I think my favorite part of this track is probably when she does the like when she says it's all in my head, that vocal run was dope. When she's like, it's only in my head, yeah. When she does that shit, it was just dope. I can't hit that note, I tried, whatever. Like, she killed that part, so I really like that part as well. But yeah, man, I also, the skirt after that was kind of dumb in my opinion. She didn't need that. Like, it's all in my head, skirt, she didn't need that shit. The skirt was dumb, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, other than that, it's a cool track. I don't hate it, but I'm not loving it. It's just a cool little track for what it is. And next up, we have the track 7 Rings, which is becoming somewhat of a really like a fire starter of a conversation of a song in 2019. You know, guys, when I first heard the song, I hated it. When this song first came out, I hated it, and I was so mad. Because I love the video, and the video was a vibe. I was like, oh man, this is such a cool, like, fire ass video, but she put it to a trash ass song. Yeah, I just didn't like the song when it first came out. I hated it. But and I'll have to admit, there's always gonna be something about this song that doesn't sit right with me. I don't know if, I'm not gonna call it cultural appropriation, and I'm not gonna call it corny, because cultural appropriation I feel like is a little bit of a strong word, and corny is not probably the right word to use. But there's just something about the song that's just always not gonna sit right with me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to call it, but it's something. But besides that, man, like, I have to admit, even with all the stuff I don't really like about the song, I have to admit, what I think is so crazy about the song, what I love about the song, is the beat and the My Favorite Thing sample from The Sound of Music is what really makes this song for me. Like, shout out Tommy Brown. The beat is crazy. The trap beat on the song is just so, like, it knocks. and the My Favorite Thing sample is really creative as hell. I love the way she used it in the song. So those things were what I really liked about Seven Rings. But other than that, I just feel like the song is just like, you're not gonna like catch me singing the lyrics at a party like, hey, you like my hair? Gee, thanks, just bought it. Like, no, you're not gonna hear me doing all that. But like, this song knocks, so I'll give it that. But let me know what y'all think about Seven Rings down below. Alright, y'all, next up is Thank You Next. I ain't gonna talk about the song too long. Y'all know this song. Y'all been rocking it for a minute now. It's #1 for like 7 weeks. I think Thank You Next is a great song. I think it's popping. I think it will probably be one of the most classic pop songs of our current generation. I definitely think it will be. It's a great song with a great message, talking about moving on from your exes, taking what taking lessons from from being with your exes that didn't work out, and just saying thank you next. Dope message. It's a great pop song. Really is well written, well constructed, well produced. Shout out to Tommy Brown. Good song all around. Can't say enough about it. Y'all fuck with it. Y'all know it. Thank You Next. Classic song. All right, moving on. Alright, y'all, so after Thank You Next, we have the last track off the album, Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored. Man, when I first saw this song title, I was like, Ariana, what? Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored? Damn, that's messy. I swear, man, Ariana Grande is like a low-key messy as hell. But in all seriousness, this is a cool track to come right after Thank You Next, because thank You Next, she's saying thank you to my exes, onto the next shit. And then she really means it with Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored, where she's trying to find the new dude who has a girl, but she wants him. So this track is messy. I don't endorse the message of this song. But it's a really really fun and like cool and different song for her, so I appreciate it for what it is. I really feel like this song is probably gonna break up a lot of relationships from girls who gonna get gassed out here and think they could steal somebody's man. So this song gonna ruin some relationships, but it is what it is. What else can I say about this song? I really feel like this is a real feeling for a lot of people. Like I said, I like the creativity of the track. It's a real feeling. A lot of people have felt this way, where they're attracted to somebody that's dating somebody else, and they really want them to break up with that person so they can have them. It's a real feeling. A lot of people have felt that. So it's a real track, and it's really creative. And I also like the vibe to it. I like how it's like really like dark, like smoothed out R&B. Has like a little bit of trap in it. It's really cool vibe. I personally, right now it's the current single off of the album. I personally would have made this a single off the album right now. Not because it's not a good song, not because I don't like it, but because I feel like it's not the strongest moment on the album. I feel like there are stronger songs that should have been singles off the album. That's my opinion. But hopefully we'll get them later this year. Bloodline. So it is what it is. I would have made it a single, but it's cool for what it was. I would have left it on the album because I feel like it's a cool little album song. But yeah, man, she ended off the album with this song. A really interesting way to end off the album, but it works. So, and that was pretty much what it was. Alright, y'all, now that I've done my track by track review, I'm gonna talk about the album as a whole. So as a whole, guys, in general, I really did like this album. I enjoyed it. I think it was a good album from Ariana. I think the gripe that a lot of people have with her is that she's not really made that like timeless, classic, like game changer, career defining album yet. And as I agree with that. And as a fan, I enjoy this album. But even if I wasn't a fan, I don't think I could say this album was whack or that it was bullshit, that it just was terrible. I don't think I could say that. Even if I wasn't a fan, there's something that I could enjoy off this album. So, but as a fan, I enjoyed it. And like I said, a lot of people really do think she hasn't really made that career-defining, game-changing, classic timeless album yet, and I agree she hasn't, and this album will definitely not be that, but that's okay. I think what a lot of people forget, including me, is how young she is. Like, she's only 25 or like 26, like, and I'm 24. I don't think people realize how young she was when she got into the industry, because she's been here for like 6-7 years, so it feels like she should already be like making like career-defining albums and classic timeless albums, but she's only 25. So I can't get that mad at her that she's not made an album that's like mature and classic and timeless as hell yet, because she still has a lot more life left to live. So I can't get that mad at her about it. But that is something I definitely noticed as a fan, is that she has yet to make that album that I really feel like moves a needle for music as a whole. But I think she'll definitely get that. I think we're gonna see her get into that bag into this next decade. In the 2020s, we'll hopefully have albums from her that are like like just next level. But I think for right now, we're just getting, you know, younger, fun Ariana. So it is what it is. It's cool. And you know, at the end of the day, this album, I like that it really did have, you know, it had a good mix of like carefree and fun and like uplifting, bright vibe. Not uplifting, but like really like bright vibes, while having like real and hard-hitting elements within the lyrics and just within the vibes of the album as well. So I like how she had that like the feeling of like, you know, really like poppy songs that really felt good, and I felt like really breezy and carefree, but they're talking about real shit and they're talking about real things that are real to her. So, you know, it was cool to see that. I think my only other gripe with this album, or not really this album, but just her career and her talent as a whole, is Mama, we need you to enunciate. That's my only issue with this album, is that Mama, we need you to enunciate. Miss Grande, man, like your voice, your vocals are out of this world, your music is great, but a lot of times, half the time, people don't know what you're saying on certain songs. Not all the time, certain songs. So it's like, I want her to work on that. We need you to work on enunciating. But other than that, the songs are great. What I really loved about this, I mean, y'all know it's true, come on. But what I really liked about this album, guys, in terms of what I liked about this album, I really loved how she like settled into like a certain like sound and into like a certain vibe, and I liked how it was so consistent throughout. There were a lot of like reggae, urban, and like, you know, and like trap elements that were like sprinkled throughout the album, but it all really came together in a really dope package, and none of it really felt like contrived or forced or corny for the most part. 7 Rings. But and I also like that even though this album really does lean more on like the R&B, urban, you know, reggae, dancehall, you know, vibe of things and side of things, even I really feel like even her pop leaning fans can still enjoy a lot of songs off this album, and it's still accessible for her pop leaning fans. So shout out to her for doing that. I don't think it's easy to make a song that kind of pleases everybody. I mean, to make an album that pleases everybody, but I really feel like this album has songs that her pop fans can enjoy, her R&B fans can enjoy. For her fans that enjoy more of her urban, trapped out shit, like they have plenty of songs here to enjoy for them. So, you know, she really made stuff that a lot of people can enjoy. So that's, you know, that's a really cool thing. And you know, I really feel like with every new album, I feel like she's upping the ante sonically, and she continues to grow and mature and just get like more gutter and more ratchet as time goes on. So it's cool to see. I know Ariana is like, and I know her personal life, she's probably like really ratchet. I know she is. In her real life, she's ratchet as hell. You could see it from her music, she's ratchet. But I like that she doesn't make it seem like too contrived and too corny, but like real to her. But yeah, man, every new album she's growing, she's maturing. The lyrical content is getting more real and more personal to her. The songs are getting more interesting and more creative, more gutter, like I said. So it's just cool to see this evolution, this growth in her music. But she still has a long way to go. But she's, you know, I like what she's still producing right now. And what else can I say about this album? I'm just so proud of how far she's come. I remember back in 2013, I watched an interview with Harmony Samuels, who produced her song "The Way." He's a great R&B producer. I love him. And he was talking about how like, he's like, I have this artist, Ariana Grande, that I'm really excited to see where she goes. I'm really excited for her career and to see, you know, how her career goes and what happens for her. And I remember sitting down watching the interview, and I was like, me too. Because when she first came out, like when she was first building her buzz, I was like, yo, there's something about this Ariana Grande chick. I just really feel like she's gonna be on for a while. I just feel it, like, and she was brand new, but I just had this vibe. I was like, she's gonna be here for a while. She's gonna be doing good things. And now, like 6-7 years later, you know, she's here, you know, getting #1 albums, #1 songs. She's still here, like probably being one of the most successful pop acts right now. Like she's just doing her thing. So it's just cool to see how far she's come. So I'm proud of her. And what else can I say about this album? I think the last thing I'll say about this album, you know, this album really, I think this is probably her most like unhappy, I'm not gonna say like depressing, but probably like her most like unhappy album. But I think as a result of it being like somewhat of an unhappy album, or I'm gonna say really just real album, talking about the real shit that's going on in her life and what she's going through in her real life, I think as a result, this album came off as her most genuine to date. And so I love that. Compared to her earlier albums, I feel like this one is the one that feels like her most like real authentic self, and the real person that she wanted to really translate through the music. So I commend her for that. even though this album isn't the most uplifting, it's talking about a lot of real shit going on in her life, it really was all done well, and it was all real, so it's genuine. So as a fan, what else would I want more than her talking about what she's really going through in her real life, and not just making a bunch of corny, you know, factory made pop songs, you know, which is what she's done a lot before. But yeah, man, it was a cool project. And I really feel like on top of that, this was, I feel like this was the album where she finally broke that wall that I feel like she thought she broke with the Sweetener album. Even though Sweetener was a great album, it's a great project, I feel like this was the album where she really broke that wall between her and her fans, in terms of, you know, letting us see the real her through her music more than she ever did on any previous album, especially Sweetener, where I feel like she thought she was doing it. So, you know, so shout out to this album for that. I think this is her most genuine, authentic album, and her most real album so far, and definitely her most personal album, and it's also consistent. It all comes together very well. Even though there are some like tracks that are kind of weak, it all comes together very well at the end of the day. And I just love that she let us in more than ever, and I love that she embraced her, you know, her shortcomings, her fears, her issues. She embraced all the negative shit, while also still embracing, you know, the best parts of herself and how far she's come in her life and her growth and maturity, and just also embracing like where she's at in her life right now and the woman she's become. So it was just really dope to see all that happening. So that's pretty much my synopsis of the album. If I had to say my favorite tracks of the album, I'd probably say my favorite tracks off the album, I'd probably say are Imagine, NASA, Bloodline. Bloodline needs to be a single. Fake Smile, I love that song, Fake Smile, and Thank You Next. Those are probably my favorite tracks off the album. And in terms of my rating for this album, I was kind of going back and forth between a 3.5 and a 4. I couldn't really pick one, but I think because I'm really like this album as time goes on, I think as more time goes on, I really will like it more. I'm gonna give this album a 4 out of 5. I feel good with a 4 out of 5. I feel like if I was to do like a 3 or 3.5, it probably would be like, it would be a little bit too low. And a 4.5 is definitely not a 4.5. I feel like it's a good 4. On a bad day, 3.5, but it is what it is. But let me know what y'all think about that rating down below. Alright, y'all, but that was my review of Ariana Grande's new album, Thank You Next. I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think about the album down below. Let me know if you liked the album, if you didn't like the album. If you thought the album was amazing, let me know why. If you thought the album was trash, let me know why down below. Let me know what you think about my thoughts on the album. Let me know what you would give it down below for a rating. And let me know what your favorite tracks and your least favorite tracks, alright? Appreciate y'all. If you haven't already, hit this video with a like, share this video, and subscribe to my channel, alright? Appreciate y'all. And like I always said, guys, live your best life, drink more water, stay woke, and if you're mad or sad, go listen to your favorite song to make you feel better, okay? Go listen to your favorite song. But this has been your boy Bright, the R&B Kid. Thank you for watching, but for now, I'm signing off, baby. Bye, y'all.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no, 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 no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no, no, no. Relax just a little bit. You don't gotta worry, you can just have fun.